Let's get started. All right, Pod 55. Today's episode, I wrote down earnest, articulate, and lighthearted. Earnest, articulate, and lighthearted. That was kind of a note to self. I want to be earnest, articulate, and lighthearted when I make a podcast. Earnest just means sincere and serious. Articulate means to speak properly and to articulate the words you're trying to say. Articulate your ideas. Say what you mean what you say. And then lighthearted, that's just more of the kind of attitude or mood I want to be in. A lighthearted mood. Is that so much to ask nowadays? To have a little light heart, a little, I hit the mic, whatever. All right, let's keep it moving. There's a lot to cover today on the show notes. First things first. Today I think it's 9 a.m. It might not be. It might be 10. It's 10. But today on the pod, we're just drinking coffee. We're just drinking coffee, so nothing crazy. And that's a double cap. And the seat setup, the chair situation, I was sitting on a stool before. And I kind of had to have good posture, and sometimes I would slouch. So now I have this chair, and man, I'm cozy. I'm comfy. You know? So maybe we'll keep the chair, maybe not. We'll figure it out in post. I mean, there's really only one way to know, is to do it and see if it works. So, all right. So good item on the shelf, and let's dive right in. So this is a pre-recorded podcast. Pre-recorded in the sense that I'm recording it much earlier than I normally would be in the week. So this week for me is Thanksgiving. So when this drops next week, I kind of have to get a jump start on recording it. So this will drop after Thanksgiving. So I hope you had a wonderful time with your families. I hope you expressed gratitude in the most sincere way you could. And I hope that you really had something to feel grateful for, something to have, a person to be thankful for, or, I hope that it was just a little time for you to feel grateful. And so that's Thanksgiving. And then, so I put on here Guatemala. I can't sing that. I'm thinking of the Ray Shremmerd song, Guatemala, and I cannot sing that song. So I'm not going to sing that. But I am going to Guatemala this week. I mean, pretty much by the time this comes out, by the time you're watching this, I'll be gone. I mean, I'll probably be in the sky, possibly. I might be. But I'm going to Guatemala with my good friend Coin. Such an interesting fella. And then there's another guy going named Chad. Shout out, Chad, if you're watching this. I'm excited to be down there exploring with you guys. Be a good time. We're going to Guatemala. I don't really know what to expect. I'm kind of a procrastinator when it comes to travel plans. I've been doing some Google. I've been looking up the area and kind of learning about it. I'm excited to get coffee down there. I know there's going to be a lot of beautiful hikes. I know there's some tropical elements, forest. I know there's volcanoes. I know we'll be hiking a volcano at some point. I know there's lakes. But I'm not too dialed in on all the specifics, because for me, it's a week out. I kind of wait until the day or two to really start getting in the mindset of, I'm going on this adventure. I'm going on this trip. I don't tend to get too ahead of myself. So we have Thanksgiving this week. After that, I'll be really kind of zeroing in on all the details of researching the trip and everything. Yeah, I hope I come back with some good stories for you guys, because right now it's just an idea. But once you hear this, I'll be there. And then when I come back, I'll let y'all know how it was. So that's Guatemala. We are cruising through this episode. Let's go. Beepin. If you don't know, Beepin is a song that I've made and I'm going to release very soon. Actually, let me fast forward into the future, as I've been doing. by the time this comes out, the song will be dropping tomorrow. So 2 things tomorrow: new song and a new video. Completely produced, thought of, created by I shouldn't even have to say that at this point. I feel like it's probably pretty obvious. Most people can probably tell. So yeah, the song, I wanted to share a little bit about how I view the song and my creative thought process as I was creating it. So as far as the just straight audio side of the song, the beat, I talked about this. Me and my little brother just made a beat when we were in Florida. Hard trap beat. Love that. And then when I have the beat produced and mixed, that is when I shift into a new phase of creativity and I say, what am I going to do on this track? What am I going to perform? What are the themes? And I base all this off of, go figure, the beat. I listen to the song, I hear what it sounds like, and then I will write my lyrics based off the beat. So Beepin' is a hard trap song, okay? Do you guys know what hard trap songs are? Big bass, snapping snares, flashy hi-hats, wicked little synth, distorted pad. Like, it's gonna be kind of hard. So when I wrote the vocals to it, I had that in mind. And so it's gonna be a hard trap song, and I think I did pretty good achieving that with my lyrics. Okay. As far as the video goes, so this will be my second music video. I've only made, I guess at this point I've made 3, but this is my second one. And I shoot all the footage on my iPhone. So I am doing it kind of bootstrapped with what I got. So, but I like the camera on the 15 Pro. It's pretty good. The cinematic mode is good, and you can do so much in post processing nowadays that as long as the initial input level is good, quality is good, you should be able to work with it in post. So anyways, the video for Beepin', guess what? I recorded it in my stew, in our multi-purpose room, I call it. Recorded this in this closet, essentially, and I did the video for it in here too. And my concept was, I want it to be fast-paced. I want there to be a lot of stimulating visuals. I want there to be multiple shots where you can't even keep up with all the shots. I want there to always be way more to see than what you're able to see in that frame, if that makes sense. So that was kind of the concept for the Beepin' song. I picked the green color for it. I mean, I felt like the Green Goblin in here recording this video. But it's a hype trap song. So what are we doing? We're flexing on them. So, had a lot of fun making it. Had so much fun making it. I put my AirPods in, just set up the camera, did a few shots with the AirPods in, super loud on my ears, and I'm excited for it. I'm happy. I can't wait to put it out and for people to see it, and if the reception's good, great. If not, still did it. It's still out there in the world. So, but the last thing I wanted to share here, the last thing I wanted to articulate in a light-hearted, earnest manner was We Who Wrestle with God. This book that I'm beginning to digest. It's very dense to digest, and you have to really focus and really take your time to grasp what is being communicated. And this is a newer exercise I want to begin to implement when I podcast, is the exercise of recall. Recall is essentially reciting or relaying information that you've previously read or consumed or digested. So let me recall what I read. Adam and Eve. I'm in this early part of the book. It's called In the Beginning, and we're covering like the Genesis stories and Adam and Eve. And I read 5 pages today on Adam and Eve. It took me 30 minutes. So do the math there. That's 6 minutes per page. It usually takes me 2 minutes at most for a page. I'm usually averaging about 1 minute per page. So the fact I'm spending like over triple the time on this book, We Who Wrestle with God, it goes to show the density, the thickness of this book here and these concepts and these ideas. So Adam and Eve, what did I gather from what I read today? Okay. Adam and Eve are archetypal. It's somewhat strange that Eve was created from Adam. That is how it's written out in Scripture. God makes Eve from Adam's rib. That's strange because typically it's woman that precedes man. Women give birth to humans. So it's usually men come from women. But in this early biblical theoretical story, I don't know if that's wrong to say, Eve is created from man. Women supersedes man in this context. And it's from Adam's rib. Now that's interesting. Why not part of his head? Why not part of his heart? Why not his femur? It could have been anything, but it's from his rib. And that's somewhat symbolic that men and women are equal. They're side by side. Man is a category, women is a category. Man represents the masculine. Men represent order, they represent structure, they represent going out into the world and taking action. Women represent what is feminine. Feminine is chaotic in the sense that that new things can generate out of chaos. Creativity comes out of chaos. Women are more sensitive to the needs of other humans. Men are more interested in things. Women are more interested in people. Women are caring and compassionate and more sensitive. Man and woman, side by side, rib of a rib, created equal. Adam and Eve. They need each other. The feminine is the beneficial adversary to the masculine. They work in conjunction. They need one another to balance out the yin and yang of life, the line that separates the two. We need them both to coexist. And in the early stories of the book of Genesis, we get these two archetypal categories. Eve is tempted by the serpent. Why? Why is she tempted by the serpent? Now, this is a part where I'm not super clear on, but this is essentially what I read, what I gathered from Jordan Peterson's We Who Wrestle with God today. The great sin is pride, and that plays out in men and women. For women, is the overbearing, overcompassionate mother. Women want to care, and the tipping scale where that goes too far is they become all-engrossing. They eat, they consume. It's like Hansel and Gretel. The witch consumes the kids. They, leads them into the house with the gingerbread house with the sugar. Come inside, I'll take care of you. And meanwhile, she's going to devour them. That's Hansel and Gretel. That's a fairy tale, I think, or a Disney movie. I don't even know. So that story. Women, because I guess the footnote is that women are more tempted by the serpent initially before man. Not more in the sense that it's just absolute more, but she's tempted before man for the simple fact of her feminine orientation to be chaotic, want to like I said, I'm not super clear on all the implications of this, but this is, I'm pretty happy with my recall there. So, and earnest, articulate, and lighthearted. Is there anything else I want to say to the entire my entire imagined world, the entire exterior world? Well, I basically said it. That is the whole point of the show notes. I'm so glad I do the show notes now because I can just have a pre-frame of what is it that want to get to. And then I can get to it, and then it almost feels like I'm cheating. It feels like I went too fast, but actually I think I said a lot of what I wanted to say there, and we're testing out the new chair, and yeah, we're talking about podcast stuff. So anyways, I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next pod.